What's up YouTube, Jeff back again. Today I have a very exciting Samsung video for you guys. Today we'll be talking about Galaxy Z Fold 6. Finally have one in the house. Today I'm going to show you guys how to put your Galaxy Z Fold 6 into beast mode. It's a series I do for every Samsung phone that releases. Basically means get the most out of your device for video, audio, sound quality, gaming, make it as fast as possible, all that good stuff. People seem to really enjoy the series, so that's what we're getting in today. Before we get started, I do want to thank my 4-year-old son Jonathan. He always gives us some animals to hang out in the video. We have the Giganotosaurus dinosaur hanging out back here. We always appreciate him. Also, if you guys did order your new Samsung devices through our link, the mystery boxes will be shipping very soon. If you didn't get in on this mystery box program, we will have the Galaxy S25 series mystery box program. This will be releasing very, very soon. So keep an eye on that. Sign up for our newsletter over on the website. I'll drop a link below in the description. And also, if you follow along on Twitter or follow along on our podcast, we'll give updates on when that's live. You can check it out below. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As usual, I have a Google Keep document here that kind of has everything. And let me actually add the checkboxes here so that we can go ahead and mark these off as we go. It's a really nice little feature. Those of you who are wondering out there, this is Google Keep Notes. The first thing we're going to do is talk about setting an awesome wallpaper. You can even use video to set a wallpaper. The way you do this is to long press on your home screen, go down to Wallpaper and Style. Change your wallpaper right here. Now, for those of you who are wondering, this particular wallpaper that I have today is from the Thematica app, and I'll drop a link below if you want. I always choose like an animal for my beast mode type videos just because I think it looks really cool for the thumbnail. So that is what I have. You can change your wallpapers right here. And if you go into change wallpaper, there is the option to also do video. So if you tap on any videos that you might have, you can go ahead and find a cool video. For instance, here's one I took at the Justin Timberlake concert my wife and I went to in Vegas. You could go ahead and set this as your lock screen. Now, if the video is too long, what you will need to do is go down here, tap on the trim, and then you can use this to go ahead and edit it and add it to the lock screen. Now, there is a downside to this, of course. You may be thinking this is going to drain some battery life, and indeed it will. That's why I don't typically use video for my wallpaper, unless it's just a really cool one. I do on occasion, but if I'm on a work day and I want to get the maximum battery life, this will definitely drain some extra battery life over a static image. So you can kind of decide if it's something you want to use. It is a very cool option, but as I said, I highly recommend Thematica as well. The app is actually right here. It's made by my good friend Vuk Andrik, who's a developer. He has a bunch of icon pack wallpaper packs. He has some really cool wallpapers over here, including the elephant wallpaper that I'm using in today's video. So that is the first thing, set an awesome wallpaper. Up next, we're going to talk about reducing animations and touch and hold accessibility. So first of all, if you go into your accessibility options on your Galaxy Z Fold 6, you just got to keep scrolling down. You'll find accessibility right there. What you can do here is you can go into the interaction dexterity menu. And one option that I like to change here is touch and hold delay. What this is when you do the touch and hold, it's the amount of time that it takes before it recognizes it as a hold instead of just a touch. I like to turn this down to 0.3, which is the smallest on the Z Fold 6. It's actually smaller on the S24 Ultra, but I think that's because of the difference in display technology. Basically what this will do is when you go to an icon on the home screen and you touch and hold, the hold just pops up a little bit faster, and I kind of like that. The 0.5 seconds isn't a huge deal, but it's something I enjoy and it makes my phone feel a little bit snappier. Another thing that you can do, in accessibility, you can actually turn off the animations on the phone fully if you want, which makes this phone feel faster for sure. But I typically don't do that because turning them off fully makes it really jarring and you don't get to enjoy the animations on the phone. What I typically do instead is to turn the animations down using developer options. And the way you do this is go into About Phone and turn on your developer options. You're going to go into Software and tap on the build number repeatedly until it says developer options are enabled. Once you're in the software information, just go ahead and tap on the build number over and over again. Put in your PIN, pattern, password, etc. Developer mode has now been turned on, and now you're good to go. You can go down here, find developer options on the left pane, and then when you're in developer options, just scroll down. You'll eventually see some animation options. There's actually 3 of them. They're all together. Animator scale, transition animation scale, and animator duration scale. I just turn these to 0.5, which makes a huge difference when you're zipping in and out of apps. It just makes things a lot faster when you're transitioning in and out. I find that it makes the phone feel a lot snappier. It's also not as jarring as removing them completely, which you can do inside the accessibility settings, but I think some people find that to be a little bit annoying, and it's something that I usually don't do, turning them off fully. So that is that. The Bixby press and hold remapping. So most of you are not going to want Bixby to come up when you press and hold the power button. That's what happens by default, but you can see I have mine set to bring up the power menu. The way you do this is by going into the settings, scroll down to find advanced features, and then go into the side button. And then when you go to side button here, you'll see that you've got a bunch of different options here. And you've got double press, quick launch camera, press and hold, wake Bixby or power off menu. So I just switch it, wake Bixby is the default, power off menu, I go ahead and select that instead. You can also choose the double press to do something besides quick launch camera. The only other thing you can do in the advanced features menu is open another app, but there's actually a bunch of different stuff you could do if you use GoodLock, and I'll have a future tutorial on that on the channel. You can use the Registar app to open up a world of possibilities for these various actions right here. Let's go through the display settings. Now there's a bunch of stuff in display settings, so I want to go through here very carefully and talk about the various things. Some of them are self-explanatory, but some of them are buried and you may not notice them if I didn't mention them and call them out explicitly. So first, you got the light and dark mode here at the top. You can obviously change this. You can turn it on as a schedule if you want to. Brightness, I've got the brightness cranked up for the video because it's just easier to make videos and for you guys to see the screen in the video, but you can turn adaptive brightness on. If you have the brightness here on manual, you can also turn on extra brightness, which will make the screen a bit brighter. Allows it to get a little extra bright. So if you keep manual brightness on, you might want to have that on, but it does use a lot more battery. Motion smoothness, I recommend keeping it on adaptive. For the video, I keep it on standard because it matches the refresh rate with the frame rate on the camera a little bit. It makes the video look a little better when filming the screen, but definitely keep that on adaptive. It drains a little more battery, but it's so smooth when scrolling through Twitter and stuff. Eye comfort shield at night when you're reading to get rid of the blue light, get rid of the light, use a blue light filter. Screen mode, you can choose your preference, vivid or natural. You can also play with the white balance here. There's also advanced settings. You can manually tune the RGB settings in Vividness. I don't recommend playing with the RGB settings, but the Vividness slider, sometimes, I like to turn that up a little bit. Why not? The white balance, I usually keep it where it is because I find it to be just fine for me for the most part, but you'll have to test it out for yourself and see what you like. Font size and style, of course, you can adjust those things. You can get additional fonts by using the Z Font 3 app. I have a full tutorial video on that. I'll drop it below if you're interested. Full screen apps here. Set an aspect ratio when it's running on the main screen. I usually set all of mine to full screen, but you can kind of decide which ones you want to run in full versus 4:3. Screen timeout, I recommend setting this below 30 seconds, but when I'm shooting video, I don't want my screen timing out, so it's on 5 minutes. Edge panels, taskbar, this is a really important one. For the fold, you've got this taskbar down here. You can change the number of recent apps that are shown. 2 apps is the default, but I turn it up to 4 when I'm using my Z Fold 6. And you can also have the ability to show and hide with touch and hold. So when you touch and hold this, it's going to show it or hide it. I really like that particular feature. You can turn it off if you don't like it though. There's the option there. The nav bar, you can choose swipe gestures versus buttons. I personally find swipe gestures to be sometimes a little cumbersome on the fold, so I may switch to buttons on my fold. I almost always use them on my S24 Ultra, but the buttons might be a good way to go. And inside here, you can actually play with the gesture sensitivity and block gestures with S Pen. You can also choose your assistant app here and circle to search with Google, which is something that's a great new feature that's come since the Galaxy S launch in January. Continue apps on the cover screen is specific to the fold, something you definitely want to do. I just turn on all apps because I don't know why you wouldn't want to continue certain apps. Not all of them work perfectly, but I turn it on, let the fold kind of figure out if they're going to work or not. Accidental touch protection, this is great if you have your phone in a pocket. Touch sensitivity turned up. This is good if you have a screen protector on, an extra screen protector. I find that it's useful on the fold regardless. I usually have it off on my S24 Ultra. Show charging information and screensaver. If you want to have a screensaver, you can actually choose it. I have my Google Photos set up as my screensaver, and you can choose certain settings of when those run. So those are pretty much all of the big display enhancements. Of course, you can also go into always on display and turn on your always on display and customize this as well. Turn on this and also set up if you want to do auto or you want to have it show all the time. All the time will drain a lot more battery, of course. Battery and device care settings. Let's go through these because there's a couple of really important ones that I recommend on every Samsung phone. So if you go into the battery settings, I highly recommend when you go to background usage limits, put unused apps to sleep. I always turn this off mainly because as long as you're getting decent battery life, you can try it. You're gonna get delayed notifications with Gmail and with your social media if you leave this toggled on. So I always turn it off for that particular reason. You can try it, of course. Battery protection, adjust the charging behavior to extend the life of your battery. I kind of leave this off just because I keep it at 100% most of the time because I need it there. If you don't always need it at 100%, you can turn on adaptive or you can turn on maximum and it'll charge it to 80% only. Down here, the charging settings, you can also turn on fast charging, fast wireless charging. They're both on by default. You can choose to show the battery percentage or not. That's a feature I absolutely love. And you can check your battery information right here as well and see the battery level and battery capacity. Now, inside of the battery menu as well, you do have the power saving, and you can choose to turn what you want on or off when power saving mode is entered. So I highly recommend choosing what down here you would like to do. These are pretty safe, I would say. You don't want to turn on limit apps and home screen though, because that's going to stop you from using your device unless you're really in a power saving crunch. If we go down to device care, which they separated out of the battery menu, they used to be together, there's a couple of great things here you can do. Performance profile, as long as you're on a regular day and you're not doing a lot of gaming, I leave this on light performance profile because I find it to be the most useful. You can turn it on standard, but it drains more battery life. You get great battery life on this. I highly recommend it. Auto optimization, I also leave this on so it auto restarts overnight, Wednesdays at 3 a.m. So you can see it just restarted 9 hours ago because I'm recording this on a Wednesday. This helps the phone running nice and smooth. Over time, things get kind of caught up in the cache, and it's a really nice thing to have that. The other thing you can do in here is turn on app protection if you want. This will scan it with McAfee. I don't know that I want to give my data to McAfee. I don't really use them on my PCs, but you can do that. And then if you go into memory here, see how much memory you're using, you can also turn on RAM Plus, and you can see RAM Plus lets you get extra RAM, virtual RAM, that'll allow your phone to be faster. I leave this at 8 gigs because I've never seen a problem with it. Memory resident apps right here is also an important thing. This tells you that they're apps that run in the background all the time. Sometimes this is necessary for an app to work correctly, so it's showing you the ones that have this ability. It's good to always check this because if you have a battery problem, these could potentially be apps that are causing this. So if you install a new app that needs this permission, you could come back and you could check this for sure, and that could potentially be one of the problems that you're having for sure. These next three all live in the home settings. Change app grid size, swipe down for notification, and cover mirrors, screen mirroring off. If you long press on the home screen, go to settings. Couple things, cover screen mirroring, I always turn this off so I can have a separate app grid, wallpaper, everything is separate on my cover screen and my lock screen. My cover screen and my main screen. That way you can set these up completely separately. Obviously, if you want them mirrored, you can turn it on, but I think most people use them for different purposes. I changed my home screen grid to 6x6, which gives me the maximum size, and my app screen grid to 6x6, so I see the maximum number of apps. That's something I enjoy and makes it easier for me to use my device. Make sure you have swipe down for notification panel on. This is a big phone when you have it open, so you obviously want to be able to just swipe down on the home screen and get your notification panel. Otherwise, you have to reach all the way up to the top, which is very annoying. So that's just a usability issue for one-handedness. So those are quick 3 things in the home screen settings. Make sure you turn on your Galaxy AI features. So if you go into the new settings, you have Galaxy AI as a separate setting menu. It was previously in the advanced intelligence menu, and you had to go a few layers deep. I recommend turning on all of these, but particularly you want to play with, and I'm going to make a full video on this, the Photo Assist and Drawing Assist. These are the 2 new features. This one is really, really cool. Sketch to image lets you draw a little picture on the screen, and then it'll make it into an actual photo using AI. And then Photo Assist, it allows you basically to get generative edits. Like you can remove images, give certain styles. You can see this stylistic thing here that they did with the portrait photo. Some very cool stuff, and these are new features specific to the Galaxy Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6 with One UI 6.1.1. Of the other features that came with the S24 Ultra, the ones I find the most useful, Call Assist, very, very useful. You can get live translate. You can also use Bixby Text Call as well, which is a fantastic feature, and that's also in the call settings. Chat Assist, which is great, and Note Assist and Transcript Assist let you basically get summaries of your notes and transcribe your voice to notes, and it's very, very accurate. So I recommend turning on all these features, playing with them, see if you like them. These ones are very specifically useful for work. These ones up here I find useful kind of in just kind of filtering through my calls, especially Bixby Text Call. And then these are kind of the more fun ones. And then you've also got Health Assist, which will let you get personalized insights on your goals. This one's one mainly if you use a Galaxy wearable like the watch or something like that, a new Galaxy Ring. You're going to want to turn that on so it integrates and gives you some insights into your health data using AI. Of course, if you don't want any of that to be shared, I should mention, let me jump back in here. If you don't want any of that to be going to the cloud, also you can turn on process data only on device. That'll process it locally only, give you some privacy. I leave that off because Samsung already has so much of my data because I have so many devices creating content that I leave it off. But if you're really concerned about Samsung having your data, you can make sure it's not in their cloud. The next thing is enhanced multitasking. So if you go in here and just search multitasking in the settings menu, you'll notice there's a bunch of different things that you have. I recommend going to labs and turning on the multi-window for all apps. You can also do show multi-window menu with one window. This is a very cool feature that lets you see the multi-window view just with one menu window open. And then if you go into multi-window itself, you'll see in here, you can have swipe for split screen, swipe for pop-up view, and show multi-window with one window, as I said, full screen and split screen view. I have all these turned on. The swipe for pop-up view I use the most. It lets you swipe from the top right corner and get the pop-up window. That's how I have this Google Keep Notes document running down here the whole time. The other thing you can do in here with your multitasking inside the advanced features is you can do it the flex mode panel, and you can choose when it shows. So you can choose the scroll wheel position, and you can choose if you want to auto show it when the app is when you fold the phone. I always choose this on for camera, calendar, calculator. All the ones that have custom layouts, especially the Samsung apps and like Facebook, I typically turn that on. So you can go through and choose which apps you want to turn on in flex mode, where you have one piece on the top and one piece on the bottom when you have your Fold 6 open. Very useful features there for multitasking inside advanced features menu. Game Booster, if we go back to the settings and just search for Game Booster, this is for all the gamers out there. If you are a gamer and you're someone who uses your Galaxy Z Fold 6 for gaming, you can tune all of your Game Booster settings here, block certain notifications during a game, auto touch protection, save power during touch protection. You can have a shortcut bar during your game with various floating shortcuts, like a screenshot if you want to screenshot your game, screenshot resolution, and here you can separately tune your performance for your games. So earlier I showed you have light performance profile running most of the time. This will make sure your games are still running at the maximum output. And inside labs, I would recommend turning on alternate game performance management, which lets it run a little bit faster at the expense of running a little bit hotter, the exact opposite of running cooler. But you will get better performance for those games that really push the boundary, and you really need to get those maximum, you don't want to drop any frames and things like that. Sound quality and effects options. So if we go back to the settings and go to sound and vibration, inside the sound quality and effects, which is down here, you can turn on Dolby Atmos, which I highly recommend, and boost dialogue, which makes it easier to hear voices in videos that have other background sound. This is great for watching YouTube videos, podcasts, etc. Loudness normalization, I recommend turning this on too, so you don't have to worry about if someone didn't record their audio and didn't edit it before they upload their video or their podcast. It's going to make sure it sounds pretty even, not too loud or quiet. And adapt sound, you can see here, what this will allow you to do is it says adapt sound gives you perfect sound that's tuned just for your ears. It works whenever you're wearing headphones. Choose a preset. So I'm 30 to 60, so I could choose this, and then I could also tune the settings here and kind of see how it looks. And you can actually get a preview of how your adapted sound is going to work. This works perfectly with this similar new feature on the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, and it's also something new that Samsung has recently introduced. So I recommend playing around with it, see if it works for you. Of course, you can always change it back to another setting if it's something that's not working perfectly for your use case. Up next, let's look at bright mode for videos. If you search video in the settings, you go to video brightness. You can see down here, video brightness can be switched from normal to bright. This works particularly great for HDR content. You see it works in the video player, Google TV, YouTube, and Netflix. Other apps that support this will also be there as well. The other thing that I recommend doing for HDR content is to search HDR. Make sure inside of your camera settings that you have HDR 10 plus videos turned on. That will optimize the color and contrast of the rear camera videos recorded in video and pro mode. They're also saved in the HEVC format, which take up more space. So it's perfect if you have a 1 terabyte model of the Z Fold 6, as it's going to take up a lot of storage on your device for sure. The very last thing is to download GoodLock. Now, this is a personal recommendation. On my channel, we cover a ton of GoodLock content which is Samsung's customization suite. It's made by Samsung, not a third-party app, that lets you customize everything on your phone. Your theme, your S Pen air command window, your wallpapers, your lock screen, your keyboard, and so much more. Edge lighting, you can get custom icon packs. There's so many cool features in here. If you guys want to learn more about this, I'll have a full video about it, and I have so much content on the channel, so definitely subscribe to check that out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really happy to do the beast mode video. If you have questions about any of these features, I'm gonna make more content as well. If you have any suggestions for things you'd like to see on the Z Fold 6, drop a comment below. Hope you'll subscribe. Check out our podcast, the website, mystery box program, all that good stuff I talked about earlier. Appreciate you guys checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.